Hi, I'm Simon Wilson. I'm the University Archivist at the University of Hull, based at the Hull History Centre. Our original proposal was for an hour-and-a-half workshop, which is why you've only got me, but I'm actually presenting on behalf of the Hullcraft team, which is also Joel Mills and Hannah Rice, our Transforming Archives trainee, who is with us as well today. So I'm going to take you on a very quick journey, but I'm going to start with the origins and the inspiration for Hullcraft, very quickly look at what is Minecraft, and then talk about the Hullcraft project, some future possibilities and the lessons we've learnt so far. So the origins and inspiration lies in the archive of Francis Johnson, an architect whose papers have been deposited at Hull in 3 tranches. And we had over 2,000 project files, all modern post-war building, country houses, townhouses, churches. We had a TypeScript list, but we didn't really know what was in there. We did know what they looked like, but we really weren't tapping into their potential. We were fortunate enough to seek and get external funding. We got a National Cataloguing Grant Award, and the Francis Johnson Cataloguing project started in January 2014, alongside another internal project. So we had a project archivist actually going through each file and discovering what we hoped was in there. The problem we faced is that a building or a project file could be a few pages or a few shelves, and that was one of the challenges that was faced. You would have seen on the original picture material wrapped. When we started opening them, we realised that we can't just throw the wrappers away, and the wrappers themselves were plans of completely different buildings. But of course we were grateful for the opportunity to add to the archives. The cataloguing project got going, and in the summer of 2014 we wanted to promote the collection at families. And it all started when I saw a giant shoe in a shopping centre, and I thought, we can use Lego. And it revived early memories of childhood. And so we put together 4 events in August to use the archives with Lego to engage families. And the events were fantastic. All of the myths that I had in terms of whether boys and girls would get engaged, let me just answer the debate now. The girls are far more creative, and much more thought and detail in the work. We encourage the families to follow the architectural process, to draw, design, and then try and make something. And they had a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun. But Lego is another talk. So what is Minecraft? It has been called by many virtual Lego, and it has a number of modes. My Minecraft knowledge is limited, so I will keep it brief, otherwise I'll be exposed. There are a number of modes, and basically the 2 that you may be aware of is survival mode, which I call mortal, where you must gather your own resources, you must craft them to basically live and fend yourself from monsters. I've tried it a few times and I haven't lasted very long. Years ago I used to love playing SimCity, but this is quite a different type of challenge in terms of environments. The mode that we then adopted is the creative mode, and I called it godlike. You have unlimited resources and you're not at risk of monsters. So basically, it just encourages you to build stuff. So the Hullcraft project, as I said, in response to our summer activities and our appeal for Lego, a colleague at the University, Joel Mills, from the Technology Enhanced Learning team, contacted us and said, have you heard of Minecraft? I'd heard of it, but I hadn't really registered, I hadn't seen it. Joel, we quickly arranged a meeting. Joel showed me what it was. He'd recreated a house from his childhood and took me through And after about 2 hours and 2 coffees, we sketched together an idea for a project. Let's just have a go. I was just intrigued. Let's give it a go. So the idea was to take Joel's skills and knowledge in Minecraft and take the Francis Johnson archive as a starting point, and to try and sort of see if we can get people to build some of the plans. Because we were in contact with the Francis Johnson firm, the firm's still going, I said, can we have permission to put the plans online for educational use? They didn't quite understand Minecraft, but they said yes. So copyright was all fine. We then created a very simple website using WordPress. And the Hullcraft project was born almost in hours. So, very simple website, but a website you can't really get a sense of what it actually means. So the basic Hullcraft idea was, you go to the website, and from the website you select a building that we put on there, and we graded them according to the difficulty to build in Minecraft. We simply digitized the plan and made it available as a JPEG and a PDF, and basically encouraged the users to take our plan, use their copy of Minecraft, and build it. So all we did was digitize a few things, created a simple website. Total cost, I think about £30 for domain registration, and a bit of time, but not a lot of time. And the idea was that once the users had gone online, they sent us a screenshot, put a sign outside to say which building they'd built, and we then put it on the website on a gallery feature. So we had a few being built. We set ourselves very low hurdles. We really didn't know whether people would do it, but we just said, actually, let's just give it a go. We weren't spending hundreds of hours on it, so the threshold was quite low. As you can see, we've got some really nice builds. And that really encouraged us to go, oh, what else can we do? Phase 2 kicked in, and this is all over less than a year, just coming up to a year now. So phase 2, we secured some additional funding from the Parents Education Trust to develop links with schools and teachers. So Joel works in the university in engagement, so the idea is part of the university's widening participation remit to try and engage schools and teachers in skills and things like that. We were able to buy 30 licenses of Minecraft.net, so we can put a copy on one of our computer labs so that we can then bring teachers in and run sessions. And we're starting to work with that with some of our partner colleges and try and take the idea out. I was very keen to make sure that it stayed relevant to the History Centre. They were building Francis Johnson buildings, but I was really keen to make sure the History Centre was central. And to embarrass her a bit further, Hannah took my keenness one step further by constructing the History Centre in Minecraft. I appreciate many of you may not know the History Centre. It's a modern building opened in 2010. A hideous box with a lovely arcade that gives it a bit of shape and a bit of character, which looks lovely, but being curved is very difficult to mimic in Minecraft. I think it's a coincidence, but you meet somebody in the entrance, an archivist called Simon. I need to have a word with you about that. An important part for us was also to get across to people who didn't have Minecraft, so we put that on YouTube and celebrating that so people can actually get a sense. If you haven't seen it, what is Minecraft? And I'm sure there may be questions on that later, but thank you, Hannah. All of our work, we'd been engaging users remotely. We'd created a website, we'd put the plans up and let them go and have some fun. We'd had some feedback, but as with other web and digital experiences, the feedback we got wasn't a fraction of the engagement that we knew was happening in terms of things being downloaded. So one of the things I really wanted to do was bring them together. So this summer, we then put a program together with Bring Your Own Device workshops, where basically we grab people out of the virtual world and bring them into the real world, bring them together into the History Centre. So we organised 2 half-day workshops. We weren't sure if the technology was going to work, so we covered ourselves with a bit of protection and just called them pilot. Just got the expectations at a reasonable level, come and see if this idea could work. The places went very, very quickly. We literally had the space. We tried to limit it to 35. We probably could have filled 100 spaces without blinking. And that, we'll come back to that in a minute. Obviously, we had to insist that parents attended. With the Lego, in the guidelines, we said the event was aged 2 to 102. Those under 16 bring a responsible adult with you, which seemed to go down well. With the Minecraft, we asked that under 16 parents or people come along with them, but we weren't sure how much engagement there'd be with the parents as there was with the Lego. In the Lego, we could make the parents build stuff. Well, actually, what usually happened was the child was doing the building and the parent would do the fetching and carrying and saying, no, I want a red one, and things like that. So we had quite a few questions that we wanted to test. So the idea was we would connect 20 laptops that they brought using their copy of Minecraft. And then we connected it to our Hullcraft server. And then we would get them to build some local buildings. And again, we created a simple mood board that had a picture of a building or two, gave it a name, chose whole buildings, and just said, can you build this? Very simple. And we weren't actually sure whether they'd not quite do as they'd told, but whether they'd actually say, nah, do you know what, I want to go and build something else, and whether they'd actually take that. So here's our lecture theatre before the madness began. Table laid out, the front half with cables and network access. They can just bring a laptop and put it down. One of the things we thought about was children bringing the laptops and drinks, so we deliberately had outside that room a drink station. Have a drink, have your name with it, but have it outside. We wanted to try and avoid, in the excitement, drink and laptops don't mix very well. So we had all of these ideas of what might happen or things to think about, and then we opened up the first day. And it was great. We had an idea, because when we asked them to register, we had an idea of ages and Minecraft experience. One of the issues that we faced was that there are many versions of Minecraft. We were able to connect all of those that bought a laptop, but if you bought a tablet version, it's a different game, so can't interact with the laptop. So we had to try and make sure we had people there who could help individuals with tablets could still build something and send us a screenshot. We used the same space for the Lego. The Lego is always very noisy. The Minecraft was calm and quiet. And I was quite worried, thinking like, but it's just intense concentration. And so I think we had 4 or 5 different buildings, and they just went ahead and built stuff. It was fabulous. We have a large screen, and we hooked the server to that. So we took a time out and got those on the laptops to talk us through what they'd built and share their experiences with the group and things like that. I remember, we haven't captured it here, but there was one, we were going around asking them and said, how did you start? And one girl got the mouse and said, I started with that brick, then that brick, and then that brick. But they shared experiences. They were, as you saw in some of the pictures, they were helping each other, and brilliant. Here's a few of the buildings they built. We've got the Maritime Museum, we've got the Lord Lyon building, and this is in a couple of hours. Unbelievable, the quality and the skill. There are a couple of buildings where people were building things and others would crowd round to see what other people were building. Now, they may have known each other virtually, but these hadn't met, and they just all got on absolutely brilliant, all with that passion of sharing. Oh, how do you know that? Sharing tips and shortcuts. So what could we do? I'd say opportunities are limitless. For the first part of Hullcraft, we started with Francis Johnson. It was good to use the project as a vehicle, to use the two together. I said there was 2,000 project files in Francis Johnson. Hull City Archives, we bandy about the figure of 250,000 building plans. We had another delivery a couple of weeks ago and had another 40 metres of building plans. So we could rebuild a property. We could rebuild a street. If we have time and energy, we could rebuild the entire city. But we could rebuild the entire city several times over. We could rebuild it in 1890. We could rebuild it in 1930s. We could rebuild it in Minecraft after the war. Or you could mix and match. We're talking to the City of Culture team. Hull is getting very excited about doing lots of things. We're trying to work out what that can be in 2017. In 2016, we'll be developing those ideas. The very next thing we had a small bit of funding from the Being Human Festival. So taking those ideas further, and Being Human is to take academic research and engage new audiences. So we're taking the research by Stuart Mottram into Andrew Marvell. We're going to use the Minecraft, again, get them to bring their own laptops. And we're going to use Minecraft, use the archives and maps to rebuild 4 buildings that are associated with Marvell. The Beverley Gate is a very topical one. The whole plan to rebuild Hull in the next year started with a proposal to cover Beverley Gate. That proposal has now been put on hold because of the outcry. Those of you not up to date with Civil War history, this is where King Charles was denied. There's a bit of poetic license here. A lot of that is an artistic representation. A bit of it is Minecraft, if you can spot it. Lessons. We know that archives are unique and stimulating, and actually there is a very close fit with Minecraft. There is an unbelievable level of interest and demand in Minecraft. And the young people we had were brilliant and showed a lot of talent. We had the pilot project in phases because we just didn't know if it would work. If it fell flat after 6 months, we'd spent a few pennies, but it was worth taking the gamble. And each time we succeeded, it encouraged us to go a bit further. We found it challenging to get feedback from the users. We got everybody to fill in user questionnaires. Because of my lack of Minecraft knowledge, I went around talking to the parents, making sure they were happy. Some were really engaged with it. Some just knew it was something that they would never understand. But as long as their child was happy, they were happy. But they were really interested to see an institution like ours bringing them together. They just thought the whole concept was brilliant. And it was free. You know, it was a brilliant idea, and it was free for the parents. To try and encourage people to send us films and videos, we had a few small, simple prizes, plushies of Minecraft and things like that. If you raid through Amazon, you can get some things very cheaply, but still very effectively. Test the technology, test it again, and have 1 or 2 plans in case or when it backs up and when it crashes. And finally, it is a gaming environment, but it isn't what I thought of as a game. This isn't SimCity, this isn't just a game. This is a creative platform that encourages them to be really positive and constructive. And we will be doing more of this in different guises. So I'll put the presentation up on the History Centre website as well, and we'll take questions at the end of the 3 talks. Thank you.